The hero of this story has been known since ancient times. Its name has been famous amongst the ancient Egyptians, who considered it sacred and even used a hieroglyph with its face in their writing. It was a symbol of their goddess of motherhood, Aset. For thousands of years, this hero has proudly soared in the sky, and every year has traveled several thousand kilometers between Africa and Bulgaria. Today, however, only the majesty of the pharaoh's chicken is just a faint memory. So, stay tuned to find out more about the Egyptian vulture and what can be done to protect it. When you hear the word vulture, you probably think of those birds with long necks that are often shown in the movies. However, the Egyptian vulture is different. It's the smallest and Europe's only long-distance migratory vulture, and its neck is short and strong. You can recognize the Egyptian vulture by its white plumage with black feathers, and especially by the projecting pointed feathers on its head, and by its yellow face. The two other vulture species that can still be found in our country are the griffon vulture and the cinereous vulture. In some movies, vultures are portrayed as bad or even stupid characters, but the truth is quite different. Vultures are super valuable birds called nature's sanitation crew. And why do we call them nature's sanitation crew? Because they play an important role in cleaning the environment of the carcasses of dead animals. Yes, vultures feed on carrion and other animal products. I know it doesn't sound tasty or beautiful, but that's how they recycle natural debris. If there's a dead animal somewhere, the vultures eat it, and thus clean nature and protect people and other animals from dangerous diseases. The Egyptian vulture is agile enough to feed on live prey, such as frogs, lizards, and various insects, but doesn't bother humans or domestic animals. And the Egyptian vulture is also a very smart bird that can even use tools. In Africa, for example, if the bird wants to eat an abandoned ostrich egg, it takes a stone, drops it on the egg in order to break it, and lunch is ready. This majestic bird is also a role model family partner. The Egyptian vulture builds a nest in which a couple can live for years, even decades. And when the female lays 1 or 2 eggs in April, both parents incubate them. After they hatch, both parents take care of the little vultures. When the weather is cold, they stay closer to the hatchlings and warm them. And when it's hot, the parents stand selflessly in front and keep them in their shade. Now that's what I call a tight-knit family. In Bulgaria, the Egyptian vulture usually nests in niches or mountainous or semi-mountainous regions, especially in the eastern Rhodopes. Before, it even nested on the Plovdiv tepes, but you won't find it there now. And actually, after September, you wouldn't find it anywhere, as that's the time the epic adventure begins. The long flight to Africa. The vulture leaves its nest in autumn, flies over Turkey and the east coast of the Mediterranean Sea, and then it enters the territory of Africa. In this way, the vulture travels more than 5,000 kilometers, which is a real challenge, especially for the younger vultures. The experienced ones end their journey in just 2 weeks, while the others struggle on for almost 2 months. On top of the exhaustion, there are other dangers that wait for them along the way. When it needs to rest, the vulture perches on power poles, which may be lethal. An encounter with a wind turbine can also cause trouble. However, the biggest threat to the Egyptian vulture remains people. Some people use poisonous baits, which are a huge threat not only to vultures, but also to other birds of prey, and also to other humans. And as a result, the populations of birds of prey and vultures in Bulgaria have been almost wiped out. A great number of Egyptian vultures also became victims of poachers, either because of low ecological culture or for the purpose of taxidermy and trafficking. Apart from those life-threatening situations, the Egyptian vulture loses more and more of its habitat every year due to human activity. And that is how we come to the moment when only 26 pairs of the pharaoh's chicken remain in Bulgaria. And that is why active environmental NGOs are doing everything possible to mitigate these threats. This requires international cooperation for the conservation of this endangered bird. Its survival is becoming more of a challenge, and various measures are being taken, such as releasing young birds raised in captivity. Electric poles are retrofitted to reduce the risk of electrocution. Dedicated collaborators and volunteers personally feed and guard the Egyptian vultures in their nests, and the anti-poison team is actively involved in searching out and removing poison bait. The most important tool, however, to keep these birds alive is knowledge. You watched this video, and so you already know why the Egyptian vulture is super cool, intelligent, and devoted to its family. You know what it looks like, and you won't hurt it even by accident. And the more people that know, the greater chance this species has of being saved. So show this video to your friends and to your family. The idea is simple. Do everything we can to be able to watch the flight of the Egyptian vulture high in the sky.